So I was writing out this post that I made about The Fly with William Blake's poem, and I figured I should make it into a video or audio recording. And I just kind of go through my ideas about this poem because it's a really good poem, and I think that it represents us. And when I speak to us, I mean humanity as a whole. Um, I was speaking recently with somebody, and we're speaking about how you can go to a bonfire and everybody experiences the bonfire differently based on how they talk to themselves and how they think about themselves, basically what they're imagining. But life is like a bonfire. You can extend it out and sort of see that this whole life is like a bonfire, and the experience you have closely relates with the experience you're having internally within yourself. And that's really what I love about William Blake here, because in the poem he says it's called The Fly, and it's about a fly, but it really is about man. It's not about the fly. And it starts off like this. It says, "Little fly, thy summer's play, my thoughtless hand has brushed away. Am I not a fly like thee, and art thou not a man like me? For I dance and drink and sing, till some blind hand shall brush my wing. If thought is life and strength and breath, and the want of thought is death, then I am a happy fly, if I live or if I die." And this poem just, William Blake didn't see the world like many people see it. He saw things differently. And, you can look at his painting called The Flea, if you look it up. And it's of a man. It looks like a man, but it's a man looking for blood. And that's what Blake saw. He would see what people would worship in this world would be typically famous people or people with a lot of money. But if their intentions were to sort of take from people, Blake saw a flea. He didn't see the famous person. He didn't see the money giant. He didn't see those things. And it's sort of, Blake also didn't really want to bow down to the king in his time. Blake probably didn't see him as a king. How can you bow down to a flea? Something that you actually see as a flea. How could you bow down to that? You just couldn't, right? It's like bowing. It's like going to mass and seeing, sort of an idol made of plaster and bowing to it and praying to it. Like, after knowing these things, could you really do that? You might do it out of social pressure because everyone does it around you, and you feel like you have to do it. It's sort of like when Neville got his kid baptized because his mother really wanted that to happen, but he didn't. He clearly didn't believe that. You might do it because out of a social obligation, but in your heart, you can't pray to it. You just can't. Like, what are you praying to? Something that doesn't even have it doesn't even see. You're better off praying to a person than praying to that thing. Not that you should pray to people, but like, why would you worship a thing that can't even walk? What's the difference between that and a scarecrow? And Scripture actually likens those two things together. They're analogous: a scarecrow and a false god. You have to carry it and walk it to a field because it can't walk itself. And yet people pray to these things, and they pray to things they don't understand. We all do it. It's a state. It's a state that thinks that God is outside of man. And in the poem, "The little fly that summer's play, my thoughtless hand has brushed away. Am I not a fly like thee, and art thou not a man like me?" He's equating the fly and the man the same, because it's true. I mean, like, every time I've ever killed a fly in my house, it wasn't thoughtless. Like, I actually thought about it and how I'm going to get it. And then you buy one of those electric nets, and then you buzz them and kill them. But so we put a lot of thought into it. But maybe there's times where it might be thoughtless just to kind of wave your hand away. I get what he's saying, right? You kind of just brush your hand away at a fly. Maybe you kill it while you do that. You didn't really think much about it. But that's kind of how we are. We kind of just disappear one day. We're just gone, the same way that fly was just gone. And when Blake would see, so when he would see a fly, he would see a man. He would see a candle, and he would see his life. He did, a candle. What is a candle? How is that any different than your life? You come in, the flame comes in, and it goes for a certain determined time, and then it leaves. How is that any different? What's the difference? You can read the back of a candle and it says it's 3 hours. It could be 3 years, So there's no different than us. So these are real symbols representing us. And our body is the great symbol. It's the great cross. It's not, so when we read that Christ emptied himself and took the form of a servant unto death, even to a cross, you have to ask yourself, what cross is this? Is it really a cross made of wood and nails? No, like this body is the cross. And we will see tombs, and we will see crosses and temples being built by man, but really these are symbols representing the body because this body is the temple of God. This body is the tomb of God. This body is the bed. It's the true bed of life. It's not really, and by life, I'm equating God and life there. It's the true bed of life. This is where life dwells. We're sort of in our body more than we're in the world. And we're a slave to this body. We have to wake it up and feed it and take care of it every single day. Every day you have to pick it up. And that's why it says carry your cross daily. But if you don't think that, and you externalize this God, you're going to be wandering, and you're going to be you're going to find many false gods. You're going to bump into them. And so this God dwells in a temple not made by human hands. It's not made by bricks and stone. And it's in us. And we are one with it. And that's why in the next verse, or in the next part of the poem, he says, for I dance, sing, drink and sing, till some blind hand shall brush my wing. If thought is life, and strength and breath, and the want of thought is death. So he's equating here that you can change thought to imagination. You can say that if imagination is life and strength and breath, and the want of imagination is death. So he's equating, let's just go with what he said, thought. He's saying thought is life. And can anyone honestly here say that they desire thought? You couldn't. Right? Like you can't say I desire thought because you don't want thought. You have thought. And he's equating that with life. And it's true. I mean, like we're not animated without it. You would never look to your hands and say that that's me, because you can chop them off and you're still there. You can't look to your feet or your ankles or your knees and say that's me, because you can chop it off and you're still there. So this body is something we're wearing, and it's not who you really are. It's a part of the eternal structure of this world. And that's how I see it. And that's why Neville quotes Blake in this in Infinite States in 1968. He says, the oak is cut down by the axe and the lamb is slain by the knife, but their eternal form remains forever and reproduces its external form by the seed of contemplative thought. And then he continues, the being that you truly are descended to the weakness of the flesh, causing you to experience the state you are now in. Contemplate another state, and the same being who brought you your present form into being will restore you and make you alive into another state, the desired state. This he will continue to do until his purpose is fulfilled. That purpose is to follow a certain pattern back to the unity of being. So Blake is saying that contemplative thought really is the foundation of man. And so if we pass away, we will just be reformed by contemplative thought, because that's our foundation and that's life. And so death is not actually permanent. It doesn't cease to be because my mortal eyes cease to perceive it. It continues on. So really the body, this body that I have right now that I'm wearing, it's eternal. It will always forever remain for any other soul to enter into if they need to go down this path that they're going down for their own purpose. But really the purpose is the same. Everyone's going down the same way. And I just kind of wanted to share this poem because I found it seems so simple and it rhymes so nice, but there's a lot of depth to it that is often missed with its beauty and sort of rhyme. But it's much deeper than it kind of comes off. And that's how most things are. They're very simple. You think of killing a fly, and Blake saw something so not just symbolic, but what's the word I'm looking for? is so foundational to us. Just the simple idea of killing a fly, just swatting it away, is something spiritual, because he could see through the simple act of it, that we're really no different. And you can always sort of equate your imagination with the true thing of life, whatever it is. You play the piano, but your imagination is the true piano. It's the true instrument. It's you can always view things as symbolic. It doesn't necessarily have to be something literal. And so I just wanted to share this poem. I thought it was, I think it's interesting, and I think it's something to contemplate on. But yeah, that's all I have. So thank you for listening. And I do want to mention, I do one-on-ones, and I do live streaming as well. And if you're interested in that, just go to the description. Also, I have a book out with Audible. And if you want to purchase that, just go to the description. Everything's there. So yeah, I appreciate your time. Thank you.